pressed live, but I don't know if we're banging on all the networks yet. So this is kind of like our pre-show. Today we're going to be covering 7 different Amazon Alexa tricks that you need to know as a video creator. It's really going to be a fun, exciting episode. So when you log in, I want you to go ahead and leave me a comment in the chat area, and we'll get this party started. Okay, we got 3 viewers, so I think we're ready to officially begin the show, right? So what we'll do is we're going to edit out this beginning part, and then we're going to go into our topic for today, which is 7 Amazon Alexa live stream sequences that you need to know about. We're going to go through some products, but we're also going to go through some of the routines that I think you should set up, because routines are really where it's at. Okay, so you guys ready to get started? Then let's get started. In 3, 2, oh wait, I need to be on the other one. Okay, ready? And in 3, 2, hey, on today's show, we're going to be covering 7 Amazon Alexa products and routines that you need to know as a live streamer so that you can automate some of your system, some of your studio, and get things done faster. We're going to have a really fun episode today, so stick around. It's going to be hot. Hey, welcome back to Stream Like You Mean It, the only show where we help you, the video creator and the entrepreneur, create more engaging, more effective live stream shows. I'm your host, Owen Video. You can give me 5. That's right. Flop. Type 5 into the comment section. Now, that's the Air 5, by the way. Okay, the whoop. And that is how we say hello. It's part of our culture. You know, I was kind of a, you know, this guy that was always in the back of the class, sort of like making jokes, being like, you know what I mean? Or like getting that. And then me and my buddies would always like Air 5 flop across the room. And it was like this silent little gesture that we had. And then it was years later, you know, we've kind of grown up a little bit. I'm sitting in a Bible study, believe it or not, with some friends. And these guys became like the closest friends we've ever had. I named my firstborn son after him, but he also knocked my teeth out with a golf ball. So that's kind of how deep those roots go. But look, we used to be in this Bible study, and we would go through, you know, the study, and everyone's like all serious. You know, we're serious too, but we like to have fun. And we'd be over there making jokes. You know, this is 20 years after high school, you know, like making jokes and still Air 5ing. And so that's what we do on the show, to say hello to you out there in the audience. We're glad you're here today. We're going to be covering some of my favorite Amazon Alexa products, and I'm going to be showing you how to build sort of an Amazon Alexa responsive studio from the ground up. But it can go into so much more than studios. You can be using Amazon Alexa routines to sort of organize your content creation, to help you with your pre-flight checklist. So, you know, like asking Alexa, like, Alexa, what should I do before going live? You know, and that kind of stuff will pop up and keep you going and keep you on track. So we're going to do that today. But first, I want to hear from you in the audience below. Tell me, are you on the Amazon Alexa ecosystem? Are you using Google Home? Are you using Apple? Is it Apple Bud or Apple Pod? I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I will tell you one thing that I'm sure about. Our sponsors over at Restream have a phenomenal live stream software. And if you want to be a better live streamer, Restream.io is going to help you. But you know what also is going to help you is getting some Amazon Alexa products. So I want to hear from you. Are you, where's this cough coming from? You know, I was practicing all morning. And all morning I sounded like butter. In fact, as I logged in, I was like, oh, you sound like butter. It was amazing. And now I go live, and all of a sudden I got the frogs in my throat. So tell me down below, are you in the Apple system, the Google Home system? I would love to hear from you in the comment area below. And while you're doing that, I want to say what's up to Ed J. Weinberg, who said Ed is in the house. Well, my man, Ed, it's so good to see you. Jim Burgoon, who I reference often, is here. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Jim. Jay Hauslander is saying, I use Google Home. Okay, that's interesting. He uses Google Home. Now we've got Life on YouTube says, no, I don't use any of these. I'd love to know why you're not using them. Is there like an adverse, because I get it, like some of my friends are just not going to use, you know, any product that's listening to you. By the way, they're all listening to you. Something to think about. Lily Tree is logging in. Good to see you here today. My man Zapata Media giving me the air 5. And then, of course, we've got my brother Bizza Rizza Gizza, who is my favorite Judge Judy defendant. Yeah, guys, that's right. If you're not familiar, I was on Judge Judy. And Judge Judy was kind of how I got my start. There's a big story behind. I was on Judge Judy, and the episode kind of went viral online, and I got a whole lot of friends and friend requests. And I was like, I wonder if I can do this again. And so I started making videos. So who else do we have here? Is on Google Home. Wow, a lot of you guys are on Google Home, and that's interesting. Dean Reynolds Media, my man. It's been a while since we've seen you. Saying he's not on anything. Harry Jameson and Heather Michelle. Aaron Avila is logged in today. So let's get into the topic today of talking about Amazon Alexa products. And I think that the first thing I want to do, let me see if I can do this properly, is maximize the screen there. Okay, so I'll maximize the screen. And I want to talk about getting your basic Amazon, you know, Alexa product. Let me see if I can even pull myself in. I know I can. Okay, let me see if I can even, actually, let's kind of keep it like this. How about this? That looks really good. Okay, so, you know, this is a basic, you know, Amazon Echo product. And this is the 4th generation. And so this is going to cost you somewhere around like 30 bucks online, maybe 50 bucks. They're going to be different revisions of it, but this is your basic, you know, Amazon Echo product. And like I said, this is the 4th version of it. So I actually have a version 1 here, and you know what, I'm keeping it. I keep it in my office because it's a hockey puck. It is so rough and raw, but it works just the same way. The 2nd versions of this product came out and were a lot more like they had this cushion on the outside. The speaker was a little bit better. Then they came out with a version that has a clock on the front side. And so you might be able to find those, but for the most part, you know, you're going to be purchasing a product that looks like this. And you can see by the blue bar that's glowing, that means Alexa is listening to you. And this is your primary, and it's going to function as a basic speaker too. Now, you can get a better speaker version, and I think that is this one right here. So this one is called the Echo Studio. And the Echo Studio it comes off of the original Amazon Alexa, which was the Amazon Echo, it's Amazon Echo was the original like tall speaker device, okay? And then the hockey pucks came out. These are called Echo Dots. So there was the Echo and the Echo Dots. And now I think it's all just kind of called Echo. So like that first one that I was showing you, this one over here, I think is just the Echo Dot 4th generation. But it might be called, you know, something else or whatever the case might be. But this one right here, excuse me, this one right here is like the bigger speaker. And this is the one I actually recommend if you want to like geek out on Alexa, because this becomes like your primary speaker in the room that it's in. So we keep our Amazon Alexa Master, we call it Echo Master. You can give them different names. We keep our Echo Master in the living room. And then we have dots all throughout the house. Okay. And the dots, you know, is the basic sort of centerpiece for an Amazon Alexa account. Okay. And so with one Amazon Alexa dot, okay, this little guy right here, you can do like a number of different, games. Like it can speak back to you. And you can program it to do some pretty cool things called routines. Okay, now I want to talk to you about routines, because it's really, how many of you guys know what an Alexa routine is even? Okay, so I want to talk to you about a routine, because a routine is just pivotal for using an Alexa by itself. Because really, otherwise, you need to buy a lot of Alexa products. And that's actually what I'm going to recommend to you today. I'm going to recommend, and Carlos is putting links in the description in the chat area right now. So I hope that you guys are able to click on those and actually get these in your shopping cart, because here's the deal. Like, these will be out by Christmas. You could probably get an Echo Dot at any time. but it's going to be like the other stuff that sells out, because the other stuff is really what makes Alexa. Now, what I think, Saska is saying, drink some water. I appreciate it. You know, I hate dead air. I really do. Like, the dead air is just what kills me. I always feel like we're seeing like, oh, we just lost like 15 people because Owen drank water. So Ross Seilers is saying that I have Google upstairs and Alexa downstairs. How does that work out, man? Like that seems to be like you're going to have some lights on some different versions and other things on different versions. Heather Michelle is saying we do something with the Google version. It's also my Wi-Fi mesh hub. Okay, so yeah, I've seen a lot of like multitasking. Want to welcome my boy Willie Rodriguez to the show. Willie has just started a YouTube channel, a podcast, really doing some amazing things. It's good to see you. You know, good to see you there. So we're also hearing, hey, some of these, Rosh is saying not a great strategy. So some of these products are already on back order. So I recommend you guys put them in your carts. Okay, so here's what a routine is. So you can create, first of all, it's very hard to like show my phone screen and have Alexa going like at the same time. And so today is going to be like an overview, but here's the deal. You create these routines, and these routines are just step-by-step sort of triggers, and they're getting smarter and smarter every single day. Okay, so you can do a routine that's like, Alexa, what's my pre-live stream checklist? And then Alexa, you'll program Alexa to say these things back to you. You can even put time periods in between. So it's like Alexa says this, wait 30 seconds. Alexa says this, wait 30 seconds. So you sort of go, okay, Alexa, what do I need to do before I stream? And then Alexa goes, first, make sure that your link is shared in the description box. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that. You know, and then next, make sure that your lights are on and all this kind of stuff. And then Alexa goes through your checklist for you. Now, that's a tactical way of using Alexa. Here's what I actually would kind of recommend, like 30 minutes, and this is how you can do all of this with one Echo Dot, right? So like 30 minutes before you live stream, or even before you go create YouTube videos, okay, whatever the case might be, program your Alexa to start playing spa music or relaxing music, or, you know, punk rock, like whatever pumps you up. You know, I actually listen to a lot of hip hop. Like I get crazy with hip hop. So that's what I like to hear. So that 30 minutes before my show, my motivational mix goes off and it plays for 15 minutes. And then after that, Alexa says, you have 15 minutes until you go live. Remember that you're a champion, right? And it's like pumping me up. Now, you could also find comedy routines and other things to get you sort of like in the laughing mood. So using routines with just an Echo Dot is really, really effective. And we have programmed our like pre-flight live stream checklists into Alexa routines, so that before, when I had a producer in my office, like we were all getting pumped up, we were all going through the pre-flight checklist, and it was this group culture thing that we had going on. Now, there's lots of other things that you can do with routines, but for the most part, you're gonna need to have some equipment. So let's kind of go into some of the equipment now and talk about the best, what I think are the best buys for your buck. Okay, so the first one is to get an Amazon smart plug that works with Alexa. Now, there's a couple different devices that are out there, and they're getting smaller and sleeker. Okay, so this is sort of like an Amazon Basics, and you can notice a couple things about this device. First of all, can you guys see this? Actually, let me go ahead and just put it full screen. So there's a couple things, and then can I go? How about that? That's pretty good. There's a couple things I want you to know about this device. First of all, look at the little button on the side here. So that's always your on and off switch. So you can always turn the plug on or turn the plug off. And that little blue light, it essentially means that it's like connecting to your Alexa. Okay, it's kind of like the Bluetooth is active light, but then when it's working, it's green or it's red, right? And so you always know if the power is on or it's off. Now, I have a bunch of these, and for the most part, you buy these, you know, in packs, right? So you buy like 4 to 8 of these. I would recommend that you buy like 4 to 8 of these. Like these These are really, really helpful. They also have power strips, like a power bar, right? That has like 4 plugs in it. And you can control each plug individually, or you can run the whole stick like one chain of power. So for example, in my studio, the computers, I have a Mac in front of me and I have a PC to the side of me right here. I wish we had a second camera to show that to you. But those computers are hard plugged in to non-Alexa sources, okay? So they're never gonna like power off with the command. But my lights and my blue lights and my TV and my cameras are all connected to Amazon Alexa routines. Now, this is part of the problem because I can't just be shouting out my routines when I'm live with you guys. It would shut things down, and half the time, you know, Alexa, when I'm on video, doesn't know that I'm talking to her. It's an interesting kind of thing. Okay, but here's the thing. You've got an Alexa and you've programmed a routine. So you got like plug 1, because that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like plug 1 has been connected, right? Or it'll be like plug C9314 and you just rename it. You know, what I do is I rename them all plug 1, plug 2, plug 3, plug 4. And that way I can kind of put them anywhere I want them to go, right? And it's not like you label it, if you label it sort of like key lights, well then that's always your key light thing. You know what I mean? As opposed to, oh, I reorganized my studio, I moved some things, I'll put this plug over here. So plug 1, plug 2, plug 3, plug 4. And then what you'll do is you'll program Amazon Alexa routines. Okay, so you'll plug, let's say your light and your camera into this. Now what you could do with this is you could plug this into the wall and then plug a regular $8 power strip into it. And then that power strip can be turned on and turned off with your voice or by the time of day or even by your geolocation, right? You can program it so that if you leave and you're without like you're outside half a mile from your house for more than 10 minutes, then it just shuts down all your lights, okay? And that is the system I want you guys to be in, where all of your cameras are like plugged into the ground and your lights are plugged into the ground. And then the cables are plugged into Alexa apps. Okay, and I'm going to show you a couple other things. But here's the idea is that you can say, you know, there's an Alexa in the next room, so I'm like scared she's going to hear me. You can say, Alexa, you know, studio lights on, right? And then studio lights go on. Now, similarly, you could just program, and this is what I do. I program for my phone or from the Alexa app at 8:50 in the morning, my office just goes on. So when I come in, the lights are on, the cameras are on. They've been on for an hour, which, you know, it's LED, so but here's the thing, they're all warmed up and ready to go. So the TV's turned on. Now, when I come into the studio, like everything's turned on and ready to go, right? So I don't have to spend this time. How many of you guys spend this time? Oh, I'm going to turn this light on. I got to turn the camera on. Oh, out of batteries. Got to get another battery. Put the battery in, you know, or maybe you don't even, you have a webcam and a light because everything seems so complicated. I think that these Alexa products really kind of streamline things. Now, here's another thing that I would recommend. First of all, do we have any questions on that? I want to see if you guys, what do we have here? We named our dog Alexa. That's not, you know, a friend with a daughter named Alexa. So I wonder if it puts them into like a category, like, oh, well, we're Google Home people because our daughter's name is Alexa. But you can change it. You can change Alexa to be a variety of different things like computer, or you say like, hey, computer, do this, or you can do Echo. They give you like 4 or 5 different names. There's no custom names yet, but that's coming. I got to tell you guys, I log into this app. I log into the Alexa app all the time. I'm always like redoing my old routines because like I have my whole house. Like my wake up alarm would blow your mind. So here's an idea of my wake up alarm. My wake up alarm is like 15 minutes of bird chirping. Really, really quiet, right? Just 15. And you could do nature sounds. And then I have Alexa, you know, say something, hey, wake up. It's a great morning to go, you know, achieve success. Reads a quote of the day. Then I get a history channel, like fact of the day. Then it starts reading my book for me. And so, you know, it's just a great little routine, and you can do that. Thanks, Heather Michelle, for the advice on how it looks. Saska saying, can anything be done about the quality of the video? You know, that's a great question. From where I am, I look pretty clean, but I'm sure that, you know, the quality is going to change based on our locations and how much we're throwing, you know, how much juice we're putting into the computer. Okay, so let's go back to this double view. How did we do it? Click off maximize. Okay, cool. All right, so now let's talk about light bulbs. And there's two different kinds of light bulbs that you can get. You can get like just on and off white light bulbs, or like multicolored bulbs. And here's the thing about these kind of light bulbs, like some of these light bulbs will be warm and some of them will be white, okay? White light is kind of like that blue light that you get, right? It's got it's the daylight look in like some of your iPhone filters. And then this bulb that you see here, this is like a warm light bulb. It's like a yellowish glow, okay? So here's the thing. I use these wherever I'm working so that I can just get up and leave the room. Like when I'm done streaming, I get up and I go eat lunch. And I don't want to have to like turn this off, turn that off, or leave the house and go like, oh, I'm burning electricity like all over the place, right? So these light bulbs, they screw into regular light bulb hubs. But you got to pick like yellow light or white light, okay? Because you can't go back and forth. If you want to go back and forth, then you got to get the rainbow lights. And I'll tell you, like, we have more rainbow lights than we do the white lights because I'm a nut and I'm just like, you know, I want to be able to make the room red. I want to be able to make the room blue. I want to be able to, like, you know, have it pulse and do things like this. So I tend to go a little overboard and buy the colored bulbs, which are more expensive. You know, at the end of the day, they are more expensive. But let me tell you something. We have this routine where when we're sitting down with the kids, we go, you know, Alexa, we go Alexa TV mode. And then Alexa turns our yellow lights to like a blue, and it's this movie theater sort of feel, you know what I mean? And that's a great thing to have in the house. But it's also great to have in the studio, right? Because you're probably using more than LEDs. You might have lights, like we have lights from above, and I don't like to use them because when the light is right on me, it shines on my forehead. But I do like these other lights sort of adding tone to other items in the room. And so what we want to do is put 2 Amazon Alexa bulbs, and then I can control them as bulb 1 and bulb 2, okay? But I can also group them together in a group that's like studio bulbs, right? And I can get them to a place where I'm like, all right, turn studio bulbs on, and then studio bulbs go on. Turn studio bulbs off. Conversely, I can do this all from my phone. So if I leave the house, like anything you can say to Alexa, you can do in your phone. You just go to the routine, you press play routine, or group on and group off. Alexa's very, very intuitive. With the colored bulbs, you can do, the whole world opens up because you can do like movie mode. But imagine like what we're doing. Now we have different LEDs on the bottom here. We can't do it with our bulb. These are like battery or remote control operated. But if we had the opportunity to buy these lights, and you can buy floodlights, you can now buy candelabras, right? Those little tiny and that's really about the base of the light bulb is what we've learned, is that there's so much to be said about, like, you got to look at the light bulb. When I started buying Alexa products, they had 1 light bulb out. You know, now they've got tons. And so they do have floodlights and they do have candelabras. And again, that's not like for a chandelier, but maybe the lights, maybe you have like track lighting and it needs a smaller base, right? You can use those, you know. But imagine being able to go like, hey, turn the studio red, right? And then all of this blue light turns to red light, and now I have a different show. Similarly, I could make this one red or this one green. I can do lots of different combinations. So having the multicolored lights, I think, is better professionally. But I want you to think about the lamps that you're currently using, because you might be able to find ring lights that are Amazon Alexa powered. Now, here's what I have. I have a multicolored ring light that's plugged into an Amazon Alexa plug. So I can control it that way. Similarly, it goes on right an hour before my presentation. Okay, so here's the next one is Amazon Alexa switches. I'm going to tell you, like, this is going to be, you got to be a little more tech savvy, but I'm going to tell you right now, like, do your whole house in these. I get a little frustrated because they're like some of the switches in my house have three panels, and those get really tricky to do. Like, in theory, you should be able to do like a 2-spot and a 1-spot, but it's kind of hard. Like, I hate it when I see this, but for the most part, every light in my house can be connected to a switch. So let's go to your studio now. Let's say that you have a plug that turns on when you turn the power on, right? How many of you guys have that? You turn the like a light switch has to be on for that switch to work. Okay, well, you can replace that with an Amazon switch, with an Alexa switch, and now you can put it on all of the same routines, and even the messaging of your, when you say, Alexa, do this, or Alexa, do that. Okay, now here's the thing. We did not put this on this sheet, but they do have, plug outlets that you can plug. So remember how I showed you this one where this plugs into the plug? Okay, so you take this and plug it into the plug, but they have other switches where you take the plug out of the wall and you put in a new Alexa plug, a 3-prong plug, and that works like a switch, and I love it because the switch can operate an entire room. And so what that gives you is this like multi-layered level of using Alexa, because you can have like single voice commands to turn on your cameras and your lights, okay? But then you can have a group command or a timed command to add the upper light. So let's say, or to change the red light. So let's say this is your setup for your show, but you do another show, or you do group coaching, and in group coaching, you want to have red lights and you want to use the overhead yellows because it's softer and homier. So you have these multi-layer, the lights closest to you, the lights higher up, and then the room as a whole from these right here. Okay, let's keep moving. Next one is the Ring doorbell. Oh my gosh, I love my Ring doorbell because while I'm here live streaming, I am actually in the basement of my home. Where do you guys stream? Let me hear from you in the comment area. Where do you guys stream? I'd love to hear from you. Like, what room in your house? I stream from the downstairs. We call it the basement, but it's the downstairs of the house, and we get Amazon packages and we get visitors all day long. And so being able to just like see the visitor from my phone and just be able to look up and be like, oh, it's just Amazon, or my package is here. I freaking love it. So, but I can also talk. I can also be like, hey, go ahead there, or hey, great to see you. Come on around to the back, whatever the case might be. Okay, so I love that. But here's the other thing is this is great for grabbing B-roll and fun video of you outside because it's really, really high quality video. You can record it on your phone. And so you have like this secondary use where, for example, like we film skits out in on the front porch, but we use the Ring footage, right? So I'm just kind of like my phone's on and I'm recording my screen and I'm using the Ring footage. Similarly, you can trigger all sorts of different fun things to do, right? So you could trigger, when somebody rings your doorbell, to have dog barks, lights go on, and even like play a soundtrack from like Home Alone. You know what I mean? It's like, leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? From Home Alone. But you could, and then, prank people, right? So you've got this secondary camera that gives you high quality footage that can be connected to Amazon Alexa and these different things. And you could be capturing footage for your videos without even having to be here. So I think it's a wonderful product. Here is really, I think, the last thing I want to show you. I got two more things I want to show you. Okay, this is the Amazon video, and I forget what it's called. But if I had to do it all over again, see, look, I'm an early adopter. So I bought like all the Echoes like early on, all the Echoes. So I have an Echo Master, I have an Echo first generation. I have an Echo, I think, third generation. I missed the second generation. It was garbage. You can't even find them anymore. And now the fourth is out. But this is the one I think to get because it's video. And so, as you're streaming, like you could have this could be a second monitor for you while you're streaming on YouTube. And you've just got your Echo in front of you with the volume off. Similarly, you're able to see, the things happening in your cameras if you have cameras. We really should have put cameras on here because I have cameras all over the house and I do use them for gathering footage here and there. It's really good footage. Like, it's not crystal clear, but it really tells the story. It gives you a different angle on it, So I would get the Amazon video. It costs a little bit more. It's usually going to be around 65 bucks. So it's really not, I bet you it goes down to 50. And the funny thing is we just have so many right now. Like, that's the thing for me is when I go to buy this stuff, it's like, I really have to, what would I rather have? And this month I actually spent the money on a new live streaming camera. So we're going to guys with a whole new crystal clarity. I can't wait to show you that. But if I had to do it over again, like if you haven't started yet, I would get the Amazon video because it's a video. It's just, there's just so much more that you can do. Now, with that, you might be thinking, okay, well, because look, Amazon Echo is not just a tool for live streaming and YouTube. And let me tell you, I use Amazon Alexa products and routines every single day for my business. It helps me stay on track. It helps remind me like the little things I have to do, even to the point of like taking, my medicine, the supplements that I take. Amazon Alexa is there so that I can be at my computer developing courses, going live. And then as soon as it's live, it's like take your vitamins, or like, it's even stronger than that because I do stuff like, hey, you did a great show. You should be happy. Did you take your vitamins? And so now I'm reinforcing myself with joy, even though part of it's kind of like a little silly. Like, it's like, oh, it's so funny that I did that. I'm just a funny person, but then you're being reminded to take your vitamins and you're living, I think, a more productive life, a more satisfying life because you've taken out of your brain the things that you were focused on, and you're automating. I don't need to remember to take my pills because I programmed it into Alexa. I don't need to remember to warm up my studio because it's programmed into Alexa. Okay, and I think that this is how human beings achieve more success is by getting that stuff out of your brain. Okay, so I really, really like the video, and I think that you're going to use Amazon for a lot more than just your business stuff. And so I do want to suggest one more product, which is this little guy here. I forget what this is called. I guess it's called the all-new Echo Dot Kids Edition. Designed for kids with parental controls, and this is the Tiger version. So there's other, like, you can get like a mermaid and whatever. Don't quote me on that, but like, there's all these little different versions that you can get. But here's the deal. Here's where we got this because, my kids could ask for comedy, and my kids love comedy. And they're not aware that comedians swear. Like, that's just not the kind of comedy that they listen to. That's like Jim Gaffigan, Kevin, what's his name? Brian Regan. We watch a lot of John Crist. And so like so here's the thing. My kids could go, hey, play me some jokes, and Bill Burr will jump on. Okay. And Bill Burr obviously is an adult targeted comedian. So they invented the kids edition to prevent that. So with the kids edition, they can only access kids content, and mostly it's stories. But I'll tell you, my kids discover new ways of using this all the time. So how does a live streamer use it? Let me tell you right now. If you got a live stream and you got kids, get them a kids edition and give them a list of questions. You can make the questions, or what we do is the first thing we say is, okay, I want you to write a list of 10 questions right now to my kids. Because already they hate that. Right? Already they're like, right? So we don't punish our kids. We teach them. You know, we teach them, hey, if you're going to disturb me while I'm live streaming, there's going to be work for you to do. So write down your own 10 questions and then go ask Alexa the answers. And I'll tell you, they will get off on so many tangents and end up talking about, like, my son comes to the dinner table talking about like who starred in what movie and all the kind of stuff I was into as a kid. My daughter, on the other hand, is asking questions about food and where things come from and like trying to throw Alexa off, but Alexa has an answer. And she knows it's for kids. So the whole goal is to get Alexa gets your kids asking more questions. And it's so entertaining. You know, another thing that we do is we have our kids memorize, like go write down the words to a song, right? And here's the thing about this. They love doing it. They may not want to do it when we tell them to do it, but they love doing it in the end. So they're bothering me before a stream. It's like, hey, I want you to go to Alexa and get all the words to Can't Stop, Won't Stop, you know? And then later we might use that to kind of rap together or whatever, because it's we both love NPR. When my son loves to rap, but you know, it leads into some other things, you know. And there's some other products, guys, that you might enjoy. The Amazon Fire Stick TV replaces Apple TV. I actually think the Fire Stick TV has the best features and function. We have it on one of our TVs. The other one is an Apple TV. The new Fire Cube, I think, is more appropriate. Like this one kind of goes back, and you have these wires, sort of not really hanging out, but you see them. But I think that the Cube, it just makes more sense. Like you want to see it, you want to be able to share with people that you have it. And then they have these new speakers, and I don't have any of these yet, but they're pretty neat because what they do is they sort of like, you've got Amazon Echo, you know, playing in your main room, but maybe like you want to listen to the music in your bedroom or your bathroom is a better example. You know, like there's nowhere to put an Alexa near your shower. Now they have Alexa powered sort of shower radios. I'm not sold there. But with this, what you could do is plug it in to a plug and it connects to Alexa and works as an additional speaker. So you can talk to it and it plays music. It's not an Alexa, right? But it does help sort of put the music in another room and to keep things sort of moving along. So I'd love to go to your questions now on how to use Amazon or Alexa, or if you've got live streaming questions in general, I want you to share them with me right now. This is your time to get coaching from me and to learn more about Restream and how to create a live stream show, because that's where I want you guys to be with all of this Alexa stuff and all these fun tips that I'm sharing. I want you to create workflows. I want you to be, and Jim Burgoon, who's in the audience right now, this is what Jim Burgoon does, right? Jim Burgoon has created a show. It's not just like I'm going live, right? It's I'm creating a show, a weekly presentation, or just like weekly presence with my audience. And that's where I want to see you guys, you know, as well as creating a show. And Restream.io is by far the best software to do this with. And I want to say hi to my buddy Justin Brown. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. In fact, at our meetings, we go, how can I be more like Justin Brown? And my wife says to me, you will never be half the man Justin Brown is. And it makes me cry. It's good to see you, buddy. Thanks for logging in across the coast. And we've got English teacher Paul saying, hey, I love Restream. Let me tell you guys, you can build an entire show out of Restream. So if you don't have Restream yet, go get Restream now and give it a shot and try it out. I'd love to hear from you guys on what you think. And let's talk a little bit more about your live stream. Jim is saying, oh, no, she didn't. The English teacher who can't spell. Hey, I hear you. Sometimes you're on and sometimes you're off. So we got a Facebook friend saying, so Alexa is the new kid sitter. You know, here's the thing. I think you bring up a great point. I would rather that my kids are actively engaged than just sitting looking at mom's phone. Like I have asked my wife multiple times, please do not give the kids the phone, right, when we're working, because my wife is my business partner. She's upstairs right now, right? Please do not, because they just sit there mindlessly. So with Alexa, they go back and forth, and there's a cognitive thing that happens. And plus there's also, I think, some safety, kind of like being able to hear your kid. Like you may not know what they're doing, but you do know that they're playing with the Alexa and that they're enjoying it right there. So the Google Home is what we have. What do you think of that? I think that Google Home is its own ecosystem. And I do not think, as Ross shared earlier, that you can blend a Google Home with an Alexa. So I have not used the Google Home. And the reason being is because when I got my first Alexa, I began to ask around. And I met people that said, I have a Google Home. But I never met anyone who was like, I love my Google Home, right? Or I love the features. In fact, the thing I heard the most from Google Home owners was, I wish I would have got an Alexa, right? And I get that. I don't think that your Apple or PC ecosystem matter. I don't know. I'm sure, I say that, but I'm sure Google Home works with Androids in a more smooth way. But the Amazon system, the ecosystem, does not, I am not limited by my iPhone, right? Because it's not the Apple Home system. In fact, I haven't found myself limited in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about. Jim was saying, "Who can help me with this?" I think you were talking about getting a basement put in to your room. I need to rewatch this. Yeah, it's interesting. I think that it's a good shopping list if you're going to go through, and take a look at some of the best Amazon Alexa products to use, then this is a good starter show. But look, I think that you really have to be thinking about systemizing your live stream setup. Because I'll tell you, I found myself in this place where I'm walking into the room and I had a routine about it. I'm a very organized person, right? So I would walk around the room, turn this light on, turn this light on, turn this camera on, and turn this camera on. I thought, I am so environmentally friendly, right? I am so green, right? Look at how good I manage my power. But I started counting up all these little minutes and then sitting down and I forgot to do something. Or, messing with all of these different chords. I need that one on, but not this one. And being able to change things. And doing that all from Alexa, where I have, like I said, a layered approach. So it's I have the individual light, turn this light on or off, right? But then I have the lights working together and I call that something. I call that turn on Studio 2, right? And so what Alexa does is turns off Studio 1 or whatever was on and then turns on Studio 2. And that is, I think, the best part of having Alexa and being able to switch multiple, because I can go to I have a chair right here. I can switch to this chair right now and I'm streaming from a whole different set and I can address a whole different audience. And that allows me to do brand deals and other, and other types of programs. So really good stuff here. Lead with Jim says, I haven't started and thus this has been a wonderful live to listen to. So, talking about getting started, I would buy the Alexa Dot. I would go in with $100, and if you can do, 200 to 300, if that's the same to you as $100, then I'd go in with that, and have some fun with it. Now know this, okay? And this is a good idea to tell, for those of you, it's a good husband gift, I think, is a lot of husbands will like this, is some Amazon stuff. If you were to get, plugs, let's go. If you were to get a Dot, plugs, and some light bulbs, and even this, oh my gosh. So this is 65. Let's just say it's 50, 110, 30. You'll probably pay 20 to 30 bucks but you'll get 4 or 5 of these, right? And then light bulbs, but if you got multicolored, I think multicolored bulbs are about 30 bucks a piece. So this is probably 70 bucks. But if you got these light bulbs, this, and this, you would be busy for a long time. You certainly would. Like it would keep you busy for days. And if you're techie and fun, because here's what I love. It's like you don't have to have it all work together. Like when you get the light bulb on, awesome. Like that's fun. That's like, it's like, Alexa, turn the light bulb off. And it works. And you're like, ha 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 ha. You know, you're like, I am Frankenstein. I'm Dr. Frankenstein. You know what I mean? Like, I have done it. Gadget Gecko logging in. It's good to see you out there today. So if you're going to get started, you know, I would say sort of like get started in that way, and just, you know, piece at it one piece at a time, because at the end of the day, it's a fun piece of technology to have in your house, but I think you're wasting tons of time, you know, trying to keep things in order, trying to keep things sort of like set up and looking good, and it's wasting time that you should be sort of focusing in on the content of your live stream and on the sort of the delivery of your live stream, you know. And that's one thing that we really focus on is not just, and you'll notice there's a little bit of a studio change here today. I widened it up and we got a new camera coming in. This is not the new camera, but we got a new one coming in. That's part of why we widened it up. You know, but we like just doing the PowerPoint slides. You know, we actually had a whole presentation, because this is actually my PowerPoint. So like even getting my PowerPoint slides, like I think our original plan was something like this. Yeah, I think that was our original plan. But then, you know, side to side just looks so much better. And so my point is that knowing that now, we're going to make all of our slides look like this, right? And it's the same with getting Amazon Alexa products. Like when you start grabbing more stuff, you make everything work together and you save more time. And it's these minutes that you save. And it's not only the minutes, it's the energy distraction. It's going from, okay, I'm ready to go live and do this whole thing. And it's like, oh crap, I have to go across the room now and turn my light on. And your heart starts racing a little bit. And you're like, oh, I'm going to get, you know, it's all of those things, right? Going automated with your studio puts you in a really great place to just automate some stuff, you know, and be less memorable about stuff. You could set it so that if you leave the house and you go half a mile away, all your lights just turn off, you know? No, you have to worry about, oh, did I turn the lights off in my studio? Are they burning a hole in my pocket down there? You know what I mean? So yeah, Paul is talking about like stretching your mental bandwidth. You know, that's definitely something that is super important. Gadget Gecko is saying learn and earn. Alexa sounds helpful. I really like it. Gadget Gecko is saying, I want to get the Echo Show 10. Okay, so that's what this one is called, the Echo Show. I think I called it the Echo Video. And I'll tell you, this has come so far in the last couple of years. Like this is really an amazing product. And I mean, you get an alert, a trigger from your outside, and it's immediately like showing you on, like if I get a trigger right now, someone's at your front door, I got to open the app, you know, like wait for the app to load, but this is just like pops up. So I would recommend it. That's what I want to get. I would start with the Echo Show. I mean, it's a little bit pricier than the Dots are, but it's obviously got video, and that's going to be part of the game plan. But I really like it. So we've got Bisco Tag is saying Star Trek sci-fi control from the bridge. Yeah, you know, we've got two Alexas upstairs that are too close to each other, so we call one Alexa and one computer. Right, so because you can, and I think that you can even call it data for you next generation fans. So we've got a Facebook user saying I like Alexa sounds. Yeah, I do too. We have stuff programmed every night to remind us, like what you know, spa music to help us go to sleep, and then reminders for what we're doing tomorrow. So there's just a lot you could do to become a better live streamer and a more productive entrepreneur. And if you liked that show and what you learned here today, then hey, go to our website at thevideomarketingschool.com and take a look at our programs that you can join to become a better live streamer. At thevideomarketingschool.com, we have courses on how to start a live stream show, how to develop assets for your show, like sound effects and overlay graphics and all these, you know, fun different things that you can add to your show. We've also got courses on how to, you know, upload it to YouTube so that it gets more views. We talk about what if you go live on Facebook and upload it to YouTube, the best way to do that. Should you even do that? And how should you do that? We go really in depth with how to build a brand and a company around your business model. And if you want to check that out, go to thevideomarketingschool.com. Take a look at our courses. We have a couple different ways to enroll, one low monthly fee, but you've also got an annual fee. You can just pay it all up front, get access to anything. We have a monthly training call that we do. So you really get to become, a part of the community. And if you're looking to grow, if you're looking to be a part of a community that's not just about rah-rah feelings and motivation, but actually about like how many views did you get this week? How many live stream viewers did you get? Join the program. Jim's in the program. He's been with me. Steve Dooley's in the program. He's been with me for a while. They're building their live shows and they're going further a lot faster. So check it out at thevideomarketingschool.com. I'm Owen Video and you're watching Stream Like You Mean It, brought to you by Restream.io, the best company in the business when it comes to live stream technology. Check them out.
With Restream.io, you can broadcast your message on multiple social media platforms at the same time. And with the new Restream Studio, you can go live with custom branded graphics, a chat room that pulls all your conversations into one place, and many more features. So get started today on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and more. Just visit owenvideo.com/Restream to get your free trial today.
Oh, I heard a bunch of echo there. I think my sound's a little off. We're going to figure it out, guys. We're going to come back to you with an even stronger show next week. So go to owenvideo.com/Restream. Start your free trial of Restream today, and let's start a Restream show. I'm Owen Video. I'll see you guys next week on Stream Like You Mean It.